All right, guys. Are you guys able to hear me now? Apologies for that. Really sorry about that. Just let me know if it's all good. Okay, sweet. Sorry, my microphone wasn't reconnecting, so I had to reconnect it there. But yeah, thank you guys for the patience. Appreciate everyone tuning in tonight for NBA playoff betting research. And yeah, I think we're gonna have some really great games to look at. So I know we're already slow on time because that took a second. But yeah, let's just get right into it. As always, guys, drop your NBA playoff parlay and player prop research down below in the live chat. We'll take a look at it and let's cook up some heat for tonight. All right, so here we go. We are gonna go over to the trends tool. We're gonna take a look at. I'm gonna select specific games. All the Mondays games. We're going to do the odds slider. We're going to do the odds slider as well. I'm going to refresh. Sorry. My laptop's just running a lot of stuff right now, so it's a little slow. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you guys have cooked up for today. Apologies again. A little slow right now just with my laptop. It's running at Joseph has a ladder challenge. Welcome Exotics, welcome Christian, Patrick, Clutch, Ian, Omar, Sergio. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So we're gonna go to games. We are gonna select tonight's games. I think my computer may be running too much stuff right now. Trends is not loading. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to try and go from here over to trends. Apologies for the technological issues we've had today, guys. But yeah, I think we should be good now. There we go. Okay, so we're going to select the games. We are going to select the hit rate slider. See if we scroll through some of these games here. We've got to be really careful about some of these fringe player guys, right? Some of these fringe players are going to be, on minutes, like fewer minutes than regular, so they may not get those few minutes they usually get, especially if they're like 8th, 9th in the rotation, may not play as much as we want. So we're going to go hit rate slider, and we're going to bring it up. Let's see here. To 70% plus. I'm going to go last 20, and then we are also going to go with our odds slider. Minus 200 to plus 250. And yeah, we're going to go from there, and we'll see that in recent games. What do we think about Hachimura over 13.5 points plus assists? The head-to-head data doesn't look great there. Just scrolling through some other options. Reggie Jackson's an interesting one. I think I'd want to wait a few more games into the series to see how much he's actually going to get to play, like what his opportunity looks like for playing time. Hartenstein could be an interesting one. See what else we're working with. Jonathan Isaac unders I was looking at earlier today. He's a pretty good matchup for the Cavs, but actually he's gone under in quite a few games against them this season. Let's take a look here. Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon assists. Looks like he's hitting 100% of the last 10, but only 45% of games this season. Jarrett Allen points is one I looked at. I opted for over 12.5, excuse me. So let's take a look at this one here. Jarrett Allen, and I'm going to set his points line to 12.5. We want the over on that. That's being offered at minus 210. This is hit in 85% of the last 20 games. It is hit in 20 consecutive home games, 74% of home games this season. In 3 of 5 games against Orlando, however, guys, if we look at the game log here, when he's played over like 26 minutes, right, the 2 games he went under, he only played 15 and 19 minutes. Since then, he's played 27, 34, and 35. likely what he will play for tonight. So I think that looks really good there too. And then if we want to go to maybe defensive rank, for example, we can see against tougher defenses, right? Like Orlando. Defense is ranked in the top quartile, still hitting 65%. There's a slight negative edge there, but considering the head-to-head is so good, I really like that. Sergio says, what about 14.5? Sergio, that is a phenomenal question. If I go over to 14.5, we can see that is hit in 56% of games this season, still in 75% of the last 20. And then we can also see in home games, still in quite a few home games recently, maybe not that consecutive set of home games that we have been looking at. How about the head-to-head against Orlando? This could be the important part, right? So against Orlando, he's only gone over in 2 of those games. However, right, that one game that he missed where he played over 30 minutes was quite close. I'd be curious to see what he's offered at 13.5, minus 154. So I think it kind of depends on how you guys want to play it, right? How safe you feel like playing it or how risky. I typically lean a little safer. At 12.5, maybe this would be good parlay material, or you could even go to 11.5 for parlay material. If you want to play a little bit more risky, looking for about even straight, that 14.5 could be pretty enticing too, though. But yeah, that's one of the props that we're looking at for tonight. Keep going through it, through our trends feature, see what else we can find. And I see some player props and parlays, so we'll be getting to those shortly. Thank you for sharing Exotics and Joseph. Clutch says, hey man, I just wanted to say I really love the app. You basically cut my research time in half by having the team stats, just everything in one place. Usually I would have to choose. Love to hear that, Clutch. So happy to hear that you're enjoying it. And yeah, I'll get into some of your guys' player prop stuff soon, so make sure to share it down below. Scrolling in through here, what other lines do we want to look for? There's the Allen 13.5 points. Let's see, like Ingles is someone who I think he plays around 15 minutes a night. So it's like in playoff time, that could be someone that ends up getting cut out of the rotation. However, this one interests me. Jonathan Isaac under. This is one for the, of course, Isaac plays for Orlando, the Magic. And this could be an interesting one. And it's under 10.5 points. So we're going to go 10.5. And for Isaac, we're looking at the under here. So he's gone under 10.5 points in 86% of games this season, 82% of the last 20 games. In away games, how has he performed? Gone under in 87% of away games. Looks really strong there. How about against Cleveland? Gone under in all 3 games against Cleveland. In those games, he's played 29 minutes, 19 minutes, and 13 minutes, compared to his usual around 16 minutes per game. However, we want to see recently, has he been playing more minutes? Yes, he has. He's up to around 20 minutes per game as of recent, or 19, and he's still going under in those games. So I think that looks really good there. Last thing to check would just be against, for a defensive rank, right? Because it's a scoring stat. So we'd want to see, okay, against, defenses in the top quartile, he's gone under in 85% of those games as well. So I really like Isaac under 10.5 points. Sergio says under 9.5. That's a little bit more risky, especially if we look at his last 5. He's been performing pretty well, 10, 10, and 10 there. So it's been really tight. His minutes are up a little bit more recently too. So in this case, I would probably play it a little safer here. Like at this line, he's gone under in 59% of games. So it's a lot more even, not as much of an edge there. It seems to like that 10-point range is right about his threshold, Sergio. So it could very well hit, but I would personally probably play it a little safer. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that one. Let's go through trends, look for a couple more, and then I will hop into some of your guys' props as well. Again, if you guys want to get your prop or parlays research for tonight, if you guys want to see what it's like, send it to me in the chat, and I will feel free to take a look at those shortly. So, yes, get those player props and parlays down below in the live chat. Okay, moving on to our next one. Ooh, DiVincenzo had some interesting ones. I was looking at a DiVincenzo one for tonight. I'll share it with you guys too. So this is over 13.5 points. However, I decided to bump this one up for a little bit more value. But Dante DiVincenzo, guys, is a player. He's a really good three-point shooter. And on top of that, too, since Randall's been out, he's had to step up massively. So he's had a real increase in his role since Randall's been out, and that's what we can see using the tool. So we want to see over 14.5 how he's looking. So that's minus 140. This is a lot closer to those even odd ranges that I know a lot of people like. So this is hit in 75% of the last 20 games. How about against Philly? He's hitting 3 of 5 against Philly. However, in the games he went under against Philly, only played 24 and 17 minutes. Now that's changed a lot recently since Randall's been out. So he's playing 34, 36, 35 minutes. So again, when his minutes are up, it looks like he's been clearing this line against Philly in 100% of those games when his minutes are above 28 minutes. So, and he's bound to play a lot more than that tonight. Let's see in home games. 52% of home games, but again, that's with Randall. So we want to see in games without Randall, how is DiVincenzo done? So in games without Julius Randall, we can see he has hit in 78% of those games, 76% of home games, a strong edge there as well. And then the last thing to just see would be without Randall again, but the defensive rank. But I really like, in terms of Randall being out, in terms of his minutes being pretty high, I think this is a really favorable spot here. This was a really favorable spot in terms of for DiVincenzo. I see a question here from Clutch says, are you considering the possibility of incorporating a content creator team into your business, or would you be interested in offering affiliate programs? Clutch, you know what? If you're in Discord, which is included in your subscription, feel free to shoot me a DM message and we can talk more about that kind of stuff there. We do have an affiliate program if there's any creators out there that are interested. And also, if anyone's wondering what tools we are using to research tonight, this is all from Hall of Fame Bets. Really great stuff. Super thorough research platform for player props, parlays. Link is in the description below, and you can use the promo code to get 25% off your first month. It's a great tool if you're sports betting pretty consistently. It can help you make smarter, more informed bets. That's what we're really looking to do here with Hall of Fame Bets. So feel free to check us out in the description. Okay. Let's go over, I'm going to go through, find one more trend, and then we will get into some of the stuff you guys have shared too. So I'm excited to see who's came with some heat tonight. We're definitely looking for some fire plays. So Austin Reeves is an interesting one too. I'd be curious to see what you guys think about Reeves potentially. Reeves is a player who last year absolutely went off in the playoffs. Took his game to a new level. So can he replicate that perhaps tonight? So we can go 12.5. We can go over. That's being offered at minus 170. He has hit this in each of the last 5 games, 75% of the last 20. Against Denver, how has he performed? Gone over in all 4 games against Denver. In away games, hitting 71%. This looks really good for Reeves. I like this spot for him. How about against top-ranked defenses? 71% of games, so he shows up in those games as well here. So for me, this really checks most of those boxes for Reeves. Of course, Denver are pretty strong defenses, are a very strong defensive team, right? Don't allow a lot of points, but our head-to-head data here is good. So Reeves seems to perform against them well. If we wanted to play it a little safer, we could maybe go points plus, let's see. We could go points plus rebounds or points plus assists. I think rebounds could be good. If we wanted to play it safer, we could go, maybe we go 17 points plus rebounds. And that way, if he doesn't have the best scoring night, then he can maybe make up for it with some rebounds. But overall, this data looks really good. So I like Reeves for, 13 plus points. I think that's a really strong spot for him tonight, considering his head-to-head performances against Denver are phenomenal. So yeah, we're finding some heat here tonight. And Sergio says, what about at 18.5 points plus rebounds? We can quickly look at that, Sergio. So points plus rebounds for Reeves, we're going at that. That's the same as 19. He's looking for the straights here, it looks like, Sergio. But yeah, against Denver in those games, let's see how he's done. It's 2 of 4, so definitely you're taking on a lot more risk there. How about in home and away? 57% of away games. So it's kind of, you're getting roughly what the books are offering you there. How about against top ranked defenses? 53, yeah. So it's you're not getting much of an edge there. So we're not finding as much value on it at that straight line. And that's why we kind of, we look for straights, of course, but alternate lines are great because that's where you're typically able to deduce some extra value on the books versus kind of betting worse than what they're offering or like getting worse value for what they're offering or betting straight to what they're offering too. So, yeah. Let's see. Scrolling through a few more trends here and there. What do we think about Josh Hart under 1.5 steals? Steals have been really good for me on the trends tool, so this could be interesting. Under 1.5 steals, a couple things here. Playoff games, a lot more defensive emphasis, so that could be something for us to consider. But yeah, let's take a look at this one here. So we are going to go to steals, and we want 2+, and we want under 1.5 here. So this is hit in 74% of games this season, in 75% of the last 20 games. Against Philly, he's gone under in 4 of 5, which is quite strong this season. We can see that Philly do not allow many steals to power forwards or overall either, so they don't turn the ball over a ton. So this is a really great looking spot for Hart. I guess areas for concern could be minutes, right? Maybe he plays a lot of minutes. Like, let's say he plays 36 plus tonight, or even 40. Thibodeau's known to play his guys a ton of minutes, right? So even when he plays, let's stay at 38 plus. When he plays 38 plus minutes, this is hitting 62% of games. So, that's a little cause for concern in terms of when he's playing a ton of minutes, what's it look like? The other thing I forgot to check here too, which we had done earlier, we got to check without Randall, right? Like, how is that affected? Because he's going to be playing more. So he's hitting 68% of games when Randall is out, minus 215. So the edge there not as large now. So yeah, I'd say this is a little bit more spotty. I'd be a little bit, kind of on the fence with this one just because I think he's going to play a lot of minutes tonight, and it's like you're just not sure how that'll all play out. At home, has there been a big difference? Not really. I mean, Hart is a good defensive player, so I think you're still getting a slight edge here, but I think there's other props maybe I would have preferred for tonight, but I still think a good one nonetheless. Let's take a look here and see. I'm going to go over to leaderboards now and just take a look. And I'd be curious to get your guys' thoughts as we go through leaderboards, right? Apply that head-to-head. How do we feel about LeBron for 25 plus tonight at Denver? That could be an interesting one. I think my fear could be, could they get blown out or something of that nature? Let's see, last 10 for LeBron. LeBron has hit 25 plus in 6 of the last 10. What about, I like LeBron at 20, maybe at 23 plus. He's hit in 9 of the last 10. In 72% of games this season. In 3 of 4 head-to-head. I kind of like this. Let's take a look. I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. And then we will get into, this will be the last one before we get into some of your guys' player props and parlays for tonight. So for LeBron for 23 plus points, this is hit, like I said, done really well in the last 10. So, because LeBron's been on fire. I don't know what's gotten into him, but he's going crazy. He's hitting 3 or 4 games against Denver, which is really good. And away games, that could be a big part of this. 79% of away games. Oh, this is at 22 I have. I meant to have it at 23. My apologies. So, yeah, but hitting 3 or 4 head-to-head. Done well in the last 10. In the last 20. I mean, throughout the season, been very consistent here. Hitting 76% of away games. This looks really good. They allow quite a few points to power forwards, which happens to be where LeBron plays, though basketball can be quite positionless at times. So, yeah, I'm liking the spot for LeBron. My only concern could be, like, could Denver blow them out in game 1 at home? But, you know, I think LeBron's going to want to try and sneak a game early here. That he's fresh right now. This is a huge series against the Nuggets, and for his legacy, a massive one. So, excuse me, game 2. Sorry. Thank you, Exotics. I totally blanked there. No, this is game 2. My bad. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. And in game 1, right, 27 points. And the Lakers kind of need this win here. The Lakers need this win in terms of the series, right? Denver being up, getting game 2 at Denver to take home court would be massive for them. So, thank you for the reminder there, Exotics. I was on cruise control. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the stuff you guys have shared. If you guys could recirculate anything for anyone that wants to share stuff too, I also recommend sharing the odds for stuff. I see Joseph says, how do you feel about this parlay? Evan Mobley 10 plus points, Strus 2 rebounds, Allen 10 points, and Oubre over 5.5 points. Joseph, could I get some odds for that? Would love to know what the odds are for that parlay before I plug it in. In the meantime, I'll take a look at a prop from someone. I see Joseph says Oubre. Let's see. Just trying to see what other props we have for tonight, guys. Just give me 1 second here. I see Omar says, Shaderic says, will Hall of Fame Bets app be coming to Android? Yes, it will be. We just released NHL, so Android is kind of our next thing on the list of things that we want to get done. So I would expect Android to be added within the next month. You know, maybe 2 months. It could be as long as 2 months, but I think within those next few months. But I would say hopefully by the end of this, or by the end of May, hopefully. Don't want to put a hard timeline on it, but that's something that we're working on right now, Shaderic. So thank you for asking, and yeah, definitely recommend checking out Hall of Fame Bets. I see TK says OG Anunoby 1.53s. Let's take a look at it. First of all, I want to say OG Anunoby has been phenomenal. He's been really good for the Knicks this season since being traded. I think they've won like 20 of 24 games since he's been traded, something like that. So they've been really good since the trade. He seems to be a great player. So TK, thank you for sharing this prop. So we are going to go for 3s, and we're going to go 2+. So this is hit in 5 of the last 7. Against Philly, looks like 2 of 5. So he hasn't done particularly well against Philly, TK, something to keep in mind. I know he was traded, so that's something we also have to keep in mind too. What else do we want to look at? At home games, 65% of home games. Hitting 59% of games this season. So that's minus 145, roughly what the books are offering. How about 3-point defense rank? So they don't allow many 3-pointers, Philly, to opposing teams / players. I think they have a pretty strong 3-point defense rank. Let's take a look here. Actually below average. So they do allow not many, but they don't grab a ton themselves either. So against defense, Yeah, against three-point defenses ranked below average. He's hitting 57% of games, though, but not a strong edge there either. So I would say, he looks like he's pretty hot, riding a good streak, but I would say there's not particularly strong or a ton of value in terms of comparing those implied odds to offered odds. So TK, I think it's a solid spot, but we're not getting the most or maximizing potential value here. But yeah, best of luck with this one, and I think it looks solid, but doesn't blow me away either, if that makes sense. I think there's a mix of pros and cons. The cons being the head-to-head data isn't the best for him, only hitting 2 of 5 games against Philly, and then also, 50-60% at a minus 140 is kind of what we're getting, what the sports books are basically offering us there. So let's take a look here at. I see Volaful says LeBron over 33 points plus assists. We can definitely take a look at that. So we're gonna go LeBron James and Volaful. Could you please let me know? Down below in the chat what the odds are that you're getting for that as well? I don't think we have them integrated for points plus assists. So if you could let me know, that would be phenomenal. I see Emmanuel says Suggs 2 3-pointers. Could definitely look that. And then Fishy says would love to hear what you have. Yeah, Fishy, I could share a parlay that I've put together. I've shared some props already. Could also go through trends a little bit more and find something as well there too. But yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream thus far, I think that there's a couple new faces. Make sure to check out Hall of Fame Bets. This is how we're doing all of our research tonight. Link is in the description. We have a promo code there for you guys to get 25% off your first month. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And yeah. Also, for those of you wondering, you get access to a Discord server where other people that use the tools research together. A really cool collaborative space for people that are into data and researching. We want to create that space for smarter sports betting for people. So we are going LeBron James, points plus assists. Again, Volaful, if you could please share the odds that are being offered for this. Oh, it looks like we have it here actually integrated. So it is 33 plus points plus assists. So this is hit in 71% of the last 20. So looks like, and LeBron's been hot recently, so it looks really good. How about versus Denver? Hit in only 2 of 4 games against Denver. Did hit in the first game of the series, which is good to know. But yeah, that looks pretty strong there. We could see in playoff games how he's performed. I'd be curious to see this in last season. He was pretty banged up. But in playoff games from this and last season against Denver, it looks like LeBron has gone over in 75%. However, this season against Denver, generally, looks like 2 of 4. So that leaves us kind of in this middle ground here. Would be curious to see. I think a big thing will be minutes, right? Now that it's playoffs, now that's a big series, we can expect LeBron to play like maybe 40-plus minutes tonight. So if we see in games where LeBron has played like 38 minutes, or we could even go, do we want to go 40-plus minutes? He's hitting 67%, so a strong or decent edge there. 38-65. So it's not a massive edge here. I do think game 2, though, like if you think about the situation, game 2 in Denver, they kind of need LeBron to take over in this one. What about his recent performances? We looked at last 20, last 10, 78%. LeBron seems to be on a tear right now. So I think ultimately, Volaful, what it comes down to is you weighing the pros and cons. You have to think, pros would be, it's a big, important playoff game that LeBron's going to have to ball out and for the Lakers to win. His recent performances have been really strong. The cons would be, maybe the head-to-head data is a little bit up in the air, though in bigger games it looks like he's done quite well. Like we could look at from this and last season against Denver, and we could see when he plays over 36 minutes in those games, he's gone over in, looks like 5 of 6. So I think that's another good sign if we want to pull data from last season too. When LeBron is playing a ton of minutes against Denver, which he will this postseason, it's looking pretty good there too. So Sergio says LeBron 40.5 PRA. We can look at that there while we're on LeBron. So we can go 40.5. And that's for PRA. So LeBron has hit this PRA in 76% of the last 20 games. Only 51% of games this season, but again, he's had some really strong performances recently. How about against Denver? So he has hit in, again, 2 of 4 games against Denver. We'd want to check his minutes here, and we can see, when he plays, say, 36 plus. He's gone over in 1 of 2 still. So, yeah, I think this is kind of similar to the other one where it's a little bit of a toss-up. I think, situationally, when we think about those factors that maybe aren't reflected in data as much, I think this could be, an interesting one. Let's see, 40.5. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Quaid says LeBron 1.5 threes is the lock of the day. All right, Quaid. All right, we'll take a look at it. And then I will get over to, I know I said I would look at Emmanuel's. I'm also going to go to exotics. I got you guys also in the queue, just so you know. I'm not ignoring it. I'm going to get to it in just a second here. But while we're on LeBron and people are requesting, I'm going to continue with a few more LeBron props. So, Quaid, a couple things to note. LeBron has only hit 2 plus threes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 3 of the last 9 games. So LeBron has only hit 1.5 threes in 3 of the last 9 games, which isn't great for recent performances. And then against Denver, let's see how he's performed. He's hitting 3 of 4 games against Denver, so looks to shoot the 3 ball against Denver pretty well. The head-to-head data looks good there. How about overall? I'd be curious to see a wider sample size against Denver. How's LeBron shot the 3 ball? More mixed there when we look at a larger sample size. Looks like this season, though, he shot it pretty well. Yes, it's 1.5. That's the same as at least 2, though, Quaid. So that those are the same things. So if you want me to look at it over 1.5, which again is the same thing as plus 2, so at over 1.5, again, he's hit in 64% of games this season, minus 180. That's a slight edge on that minus 148 that we're getting, which looks good. However, recent performances haven't been too hot, hitting 47% of the last 20 and 33% of the last 10. In away games, how has LeBron shot the ball? We'll see in away games. 59% of away games. So kind of on par. If we want to go against Denver, specifically, right, 3 of 4 against Denver. Quaid said, "Be nice, told ya." I was just saying that it was the same as 2 plus. And yeah, Quaid, I think if I'm evaluating this play, I'm not saying it won't hit. I'm not saying that at all. It very well could hit. I think when we're looking at, there's a multitude of factors to think about here in terms of weighing pros and cons, right? So if we're looking at the pros, we are looking at the head-to-head against Denver looks really good this season. He's hitting 3 of 4. If we're looking at pros, we may look at overall in the season, there's an edge there, a positive edge. However, when we look at some of the cons, maybe recent performances hasn't been too hot. He's only hit in 47% of the last 20, 3 of the last 9. let's see what else. Let's take a look at 3-point defense rank. That could be an important one. We can see that, overall, looks like the Nuggets have a very good 3-point defense. Let's take a look here. Quaid says, I'll come back to check to remind you how free it was, Exotics. Yeah, I think, Quaid, it's not about, I think it's just everyone weighing their own pros and cons for themselves. Like Exotic says, I think it's a solid line. It probably wouldn't be my go-to either, though I want to check a couple other things, but I think it looks pretty solid, and looks like you've done some good research here in terms of some of the head-to-head data like I was talking about, in the same way that, someone else may not feel the line's their go-to either. But yeah, appreciate you sharing this one. Quaid says, I think you are awesome and provide fantastic data. This is just my first time hopping in and being a goof. It's a lock, though. No, Quaid, I appreciate it, yeah. I appreciate you joining us. This is a cool play. I think a couple other things I want to check here. 3-point defense rank. So against, 3 points defense is ranked in the bottom quartile. We can see he's hitting 56% of games. And then the other thing to check would be minutes. This is, Quaid, this is the one that I think may kind of favor you in terms of the data standpoint. Or not favor you, but I think this could be a good building block for the prop, right? When LeBron plays, let's say he's probably play 40 minutes tonight, right? That's what I think he'll probably play. So guys, when LeBron plays 40 minutes, this is probably, in my opinion, the biggest insight right here. And for me, this changes my outlook on this prop. I think when we're weighing pros and cons again, before the head-to-head data was the biggest one. However, we see when LeBron is playing 40-plus minutes, he's hitting 89% of those games. If we want to be conservative and say 38-plus minutes, still hitting in 70% of these games. So, Quaid, I like this one quite a bit. Now, after that was the one I was kind of waiting to get to towards the end, was this minute slider. And yeah, it shows, when LeBron is playing a ton of minutes, he's typically hitting this 3-point mark. So, Quaid, thank you for sharing that one. Happy to hear you're enjoying the live stream. We do these weekly. We also have one in our Discord server as well for Discord members only. If you guys are interested in getting access to all this great research and data, all this research and data, check out the link in the description to sign up to Hall of Fame Bets. We have a promo code in there so you guys can get 25% off your first month, and you're able to do this all this research yourselves. It's really simple, really easy, and will help a lot with making smarter betting decisions. So I recommend checking it out. All right. I'm going to go to Exotics now. For Garland, points plus assists, and Wagner, PRA. So now we're going to go over to the Parlay Optimizer, which helps us calculate the probability of a parlay based on historical data. Super cool. Quite a difficult thing to do. Nothing else out there, guys, that allows us to do this. So the Parlay Optimizer is elite. So we're going to go to the Cavs game. We're going to go to Garland. And we are going to go... Yes, Emmanuel, I will get you a Suggs and Strus next. I got you, Emmanuel. Thank you for the reminder. So we're going to go 22.5. And we're going to go points plus assists. Odd. See there? We had a little... Let's see, I'm going to go back over to the Parlay Optimizer. Points plus assists here. Weird. It looks like there's some sort of bug or glitch for points plus assists Exotics. I'm going to report that over to the team. Apologies about that. I can definitely take a look at, I think the Wagner, Hey says the glitch happens to me with MLB. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely share that one with the team. Apologies about that, Hey. Yeah, it looks like it's happening with, the points plus assists there. But let's go back over. I'm going to go to the Parlay Optimizer again. And I'm going to go to, you had Wagner, PRA. So we're going to go to points, rebounds, and assists. I think it's because these stats that we have here, some of them are newly added. Those PRA. Let me try a points one here. I think those are newer to the parlay optimizer, or I have to double check. Yeah, so it looks like your regular stats here are working. Apologies about that. I'll report those errors over to our team there. Yeah, it looks like it's just the PRA. I don't even know if we have those available in the mobile app for those statistics, so that could be the error. Yeah, because all the regular stats are working. It's just those PRA, PA, PR stats, I think, like double-double. Double-double seems to be good. I'll look into this more later, but yeah, thanks for pointing those out, guys. We can definitely do Suggs and Struce. Exotics, apologies about that. So yeah, we'll go Suggs and Struce. So we are going to go to the parlay optimizer. We are going to go to Suggs for threes. We're going to go 2 threes for Suggs. Add a leg, and then we are going to go to Struce. 2 plus threes. All right. So this is being what's this being offered for, Emmanuel? That was the thing I meant to ask you. What are the odds that you're getting when you're combining these and on your sports book? Because that's going to be a big way in terms of how we evaluate this. This is going to be a big indicator in how we evaluate this parlay. In Exotics, if you have something else that you want me to look at, I'd love to take a look. Just send it down below in the chat. I apologize about that too. We'll get that issue resolved ASAP after this stream, and we'll definitely be back, or we'll be fixed for next live stream. So, yeah. Emmanuel, do you have the combined odds for those? That would be super helpful evaluating or determining the value there. We can see this parlay has hit. We can see this parlay has hit in 30% of the last 10 games. I don't, says Emmanuel. Okay, I'm going to try and go look it up on my phone real quick then. I'm going to go to FanDuel and just see. They'll give us kind of like a pretty standard set of odds here. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. And then we're about to wrap up here after this one, I think, because the 7 o'clock games are starting soon, and I want to get you guys on your way there. So yeah, I'm going to go over to NBA. I'm going to go to threes, 2 plus for Suggs, 2 plus for Struce. Okay, so this is being offered on the sportsbook for plus 161. This is hit in 39% of games this season, plus 155. So that's relatively comparable offered odds to the sportsbook odds. Okay? And then we can go over to last 10. It's only hitting 3 of the last 10, though. We can see in head-to-head games how it's performed. Both players have only hit in 2 of 5 head-to-head games, 16%, so that's not looking too hot there. We could see in home and away games, 32% of home and away games, a negative edge there as well. We can see against opponent 3-point defenses, it's hitting 31% of games. So, again, with it being offered at plus 161, Emmanuel, I would say I'm not feeling this as much. I have to be honest. That's not to say that this play won't hit or can't hit. It's very likely it could, right? Both these players could absolutely get 2 plus 3s. But in terms of the value and what the data is showing us, less likely than not, or more likely than not, it probably won't hit. And then also, either way, we're kind of losing out value to the sports books in terms of based on the historical data, right? Like, even recent performances only hitting 30%, and that's plus 235. So, and the head-to-head is pretty big here. Like, neither player has really done exceptional in the head-to-head games. So, yeah, that's my analysis of that. Emmanuel says, thanks. Yeah, of course. Quaid says, Austin Reeves 3s is also free. Um, Quade, what's the line or like what's his 3-point line set at? Is it 1? Is it 2? If you could let me know in the chat, I'd be curious to take a look at this last one, and then we'll call it a night. So we have Reeves, and we are going for threes. 1.5 says Jake. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jake and Quade. So we're gonna go look at Austin Reeves. And I plugged them in the Parlay Optimizer this time just to take a look at it from a bit of a different angle. Every once in a while, guys, I know the Parlay Optimizer obviously is for these parlays that we're looking at like we just did. However, it can be fun to kind of play around with different player props in here as well, too. So we can see in the last 10, he's hitting 7 of the last 10. We can see he has hit in 70% of the last 20. The one thing I do like to see, I'm going to pull up his player page too. Because one of the things I like to look at is the odds as well. So we're going to go to threes. 1.5. We want over. So yeah, he has hit in 7 of the last 10, including each of the last 5. Really well done there. 70% of the last 20. We could see against Denver how he's done. 3 of 4 games against Denver. How about the away games against Denver? So he split there. We could even take a look at, if we want to look at a larger sample size from this in last season against Denver. Let's see. He's performed quite well against Denver overall. 82% of games against Denver. How about away games against Denver from this in last season? 4 of 5. Quade, this is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm liking it so far. Let's see here. Against 3-point defense rank. Looking pretty good against similar ranked 3-point defenses. The next thing would be, again, the minutes. What's he been playing? He played 37 minutes in game 1. So I'm going to play it safe. He averages 32 a night in the regular season. I'm going to bump him up to, let's say 36 come postseason. I think that's a good range. Doesn't look like the minutes affect Reeves as much as others. This one doesn't look like the minutes affect Reeves as much as like a LeBron. So yeah, I would say overall I think it looks pretty strong in terms of the head-to-head looks good against Denver. The recent performances have been really strong from Reeves. So yeah, I think overall it looks pretty solid here. So good research there, Quade. And yeah, guys, we will wrap it up there. Apologies for the technical delays with my mic at the beginning of the stream. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you guys want access to research tools like these or these research tools, link in the description. Check out Hall of Fame Bets. Really great betting research tools. Makes the process so easy, and you guys can see, like in 1 hour, our ability to come up with 10, 15 different really quality plays. So there's a promo code in the description to get 25% off your first month. And also, guys, included in your description is access to our Discord server, where we do another Discord-only live stream once a week in there as well. So I recommend checking it out. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Best of luck with your plays, everyone. And yeah, fingers crossed for you all for tonight. So yeah, all right, thank you guys. Have a good night. Peace.